We're now joined by William Liabunya of Egenco. William, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Welcome.
William, we're onto the third day of the AEF 2018. What have some of the impressions been for you through the discussions that we've seen?
It has been a good experience so far. And I should mention that I think mainly the networking that we're doing here, because you are having to meet financiers, developers, investors in all sorts. And that, I think, is one of the highlights of my time here at the FE 2018. And also the presentations. There's been quite good resources that are touching on the actual practical things that we experience in our day-to-day operations of our utilities.
Take us through some of the work that Egenco does.
Egenco is the generation utility in Malawi. You may recall that we have had in the past only Eskom Malawi as the utility. And coming 2016, as one of the energy sector reforms, the Eskom was unbundled. And through that unbundling is when Egenco came to be. And that was in 2016. And we became operational in 2017 in January. So one of our major work is to maintain the existing generation that is there. But as a government utility, we are also responsible for the expansion of the generation capacity in the country. We are currently experiencing high demand against low capacity, and that's one of the main challenges that we are having. And that is what also, as I mentioned, that this conference has provided an opportunity for networking, because we are looking at expanding our generation capacity, because we have a number of projects that we've aligned. We are 95% hydro-based. And with the climatic changes that we're experiencing currently in Africa, and Southern Africa in particular, we are looking at diversifying the sources of our generation. And in that case, we're looking at solar, we're looking at wind, we're looking at geothermal, and also the thermal power core and the HFOs. So with that, we are looking at as a utility, we cannot have financing on our own as a government. So we're looking at partnering with those investors and who are also in the energy development. So this is one of the things that much as we're looking at maintaining and sustaining the current generation, we are mainly focusing on expanding the current generation capacity.
And now, just to stay on the issue of the capacity versus the high demand that you have, how important are public and private partnerships in ensuring that you reach your goals of that capacity that you're trying to generate?
As I mentioned, governments these days do not have finances that they can put into projects like energy projects, which take long to bring back the results. And therefore, the only way that we can go is to partner with a private. And already one of the projects that we're pursuing, a hydro-based project, again, we are already in discussion with the IFC of the World Bank, who are helping us to get a private investor that we can develop this 300 megawatts hydro power plant. And we are also working together with our Private Partnership Commission in Malawi, who are working together with the World Bank, IFC, and ourselves, so that we can identify a private investor that can partner with us. Because otherwise, alone, governments cannot do it. Governments do not have money, and their priorities are not in investing. Their priorities to give services, and therefore, let's leave government finances to do the services. But we, as the utilities, we have to find private partners that can help us in developing and achieve what even the governments are expecting from.
Now, in closing, William, the Africa Energy Forum is essentially a meeting of minds. What are you hoping will be the outcomes at the end of the conference?
Mainly, my expectation, and even back home, expectations that I get a network that we can work on and be able to realize our dreams in Malawi, that we can develop our generation capacity through the networks that we can obtain from this conference.
Thank you so much.